Good morning. In step 1, I taught you how can you recognize an OCD signal or deceptive signal or obsessions, which can be a feeling or a thought or a sensation, body sensation. Okay? Why? So that you, after labeling or after relabeling, then your brain will know that this is an OCD obsession. That means it is a deceptive signal, a false fear signal. So you should not care about it, or you tell the brain you should not care about it, or try at least not to freak out about it. Okay, why is that? Because if you compare a client with OCD versus a client without OCD, then after receiving a real fear signal, danger signal, then both of them, they should make a response. There is no difference about that. The only difference between client with OCD and client without OCD, or someone without OCD, is that client with OCD receives a deceptive or a false danger signal, a false fear signal, and he do a response. He does a response. So this is the only difference. So telling the brain that this signal, OCD signal, is false, is not true, will calm him a little bit, so he can know what he should do. Knowing the truth is very important in every situation, and the brain tries to protect you. Okay, so after knowing that this signal is real, the fear signal or the danger signal is real, there is no difference between between a client with OCD or a person without OCD. They should respond. They should respond to this danger or to this fear. Why? Because they should protect themselves. Okay. Okay. Also, I told you in step 1 in labeling or relabeling is that you do the relabeling, and after that directly you refocus to something in your hand, or to one of your hobbies, or to something that takes all of your attention and concentration. So this is as if you it looks like an exposure and response prevention, but with not the classic one, but simply with mindfulness. So you recognize that this is an OCD obsession, then you refocus. That means you don't do the compulsion. You refocus to something different than the compulsion. This will also create what is called in ACT the psychological flexibility, because you connect, or you condition each stimuli with a different response. Because compulsion, for the same OCD stimulus, or for the same OCD trigger or the same OCD obsession, the compulsion will be the same for the same compulsion, for the same obsession. When you try to do something different than the compulsion, then you will create some flexibility in the response, and this eventually at the end will stop the compulsion. But we will try to do that in a concrete and in a specific and in predetermined manner according to the therapy. Okay, so you relabel, and after that you refocus. Okay, now then why step 2? Why we want to introduce another step between 1 and 3, between relabeling and refocusing. Okay, let us suppose that you find refocusing very difficult or even impossible. Then this is likely because of that you feel fear, that you think that, oh, maybe it is not an obsession, maybe it is not an OCD, maybe it is a true signal. Maybe this fear is real. Maybe this danger that mean that this danger is real. Okay, so and that will stops you from doing the refocus, or you will do the refocus looking back, looking to the obsession, looking to step 1, because you are afraid. You driving you are driving, but at the same time you are looking behind you. So also OCD is why you are looking behind you, because of the fear. You think it is real. I think that this fear, a lot of therapists think that this fear is because the melting, the fusion of the I, the sense of the I with these fear signals, with these thought signals, with these fear thoughts of fear, with these sensations of fear, with these feelings of fear. Okay, so from this you should infer that step 2 is about reattributing the cause of these signals, is to say to your brain, to convince your brain, to convince you to feel that these signals is not generated by me, is not me, removing the sense of I-ness of me from the signal, from the OCD signal, from the obsession, from the thought, feeling, and sensation of OCD. Okay, so this is why step 2. In step 2, we will not delve in the content of the obsession, because I think always that the content of the obsession is something designed by the OCD to attract you, to grab your attention, to grab your focus, to grab your concentration to the OCD, so that you will feed the monster. Okay, we will take some cognitive errors. We will learn some cognitive errors and some other things, but this is what is step 2. So step 2 is to calm you. I know that this is a very hateful, abhorrent term for classical ERP people, but in the practice, a lot of clients have a problem. They cut off ERP therapy. They even feel very, very scared to practice ERP, even to begin with ERP. So this is why you should do something. You should not keep saying ERP, ERP, do ERP, ERP, ERP. No, you should do something with these people, if you care about them, of course. This is why we bring step 2. Step 2 is to show your brain that you are not responsible for these thoughts. You are not responsible for these fear signal. You are not responsible for these OCD obsessions. No, it is the OCD, or it is the cognitive error, or it is something that you are not you are not, it is not you. It is not removing the sense of I-ness from from the content of the obsession, removing the I-ness from the OCD signal. Okay, let us say simply OCD signal or OCD obsession, removing the sense of I-ness. If you remove the sense of I-ness from these signals, then I assure you there will be no fear, no danger. If there is no fear and no danger, then there will be no compulsion. You will not do a compulsion. Many times I have said that, even if you have doubt. So the cause of OCD, even if you have doubt, this will not cause a compulsion. This will not cause an OCD. OCD is caused when you realize, when you feel that this danger is real, that there is no doubt about it. It is real. Okay, so if doubt doesn't cause feeling of fear, or sense of real danger, of real fear, then this doubt will not cause an OCD. It will not cause a compulsion. Okay, so the meaning of step 2 is should show you, or should let you feel, that the obsessions are not real, are false. These thoughts are false. These sensations are false. These feelings are false. They are not true. Okay? This is the core of step 2. It is not, we don't want you in step 2 to calm yourself through entering the content of the thoughts or the feeling or the sensation. No, simply you only touch the content. You don't enter, you touch it. Okay? You touch it so that you understand, you experience, you feel that, oh, these are false signals. They are not me. It is not true. Why this? This is so that to enable you to do step 3, to refocus. So that instead you get an OCD signal, you say, this is an OCD, then you enter step 2, this is not me, this is the OCD, and then you refocus very hardly. Of course, we teach you, it is these are only the names of the steps, but we teach you how can you do that. It is not a magic a magical words, but how can you do that? How can you refocus? Because ultimately at the end we want you to stop doing the compulsion. If you stop doing the compulsion, you will stop creating the reinforcing feelings, the reinforcing thoughts. Because when you do the compulsion, you will not only do the compulsion to alleviate or to calm the anxiety before the compulsion. No, in fact, you will strengthen the cycle. So how do you strengthen this cycle? When you do a compulsion after an anxiety, when you do a compulsion, then you will create feelings, you will create thoughts connected with this compulsion. These thoughts and feelings will keep the compulsion going on, will keep the cycle, will maintain the cycle, will maintain the OCD cycle, will maintain the compulsion. So if you stop the behavior, if you stop the compulsion, then you will decrease, and at the end you will remove these feelings conditioned or connected with the compulsion. And thereby you will decrease the compulsion more and more, then you will decrease the feeling more and more, and the cycle will decrease more, will weaken more and more. Okay, so if you can, then you should do step 1 and step 3 quickly, directly. But if you cannot do step 3, so even step 1, if you could escape or skip. Sorry, if you could skip step 1, directly doing step 3, so you get the obsession and directly you refocus. Directly you get your attention from the obsession and you refocus. If you can do that, then do it. If it is difficult, then do step 1, 3. If it is still difficult, you cannot refocus, then do step 1, 2, 3. Okay?